the Kazushi Principle leans more on this idea of seeking first to understand, then to be understood. Now,
most people don't have that, though. They want to be understood.
Oh, yeah.
They want everyone to understand them first.
And here's how Jiu-Jitsu...
And when they don't feel understood, they lash out on everyone. They get angry. They get upset. They have an attitude. They get frustrated.
And this is where Jiu-Jitsu beats that out of you, Lewis. Here's why. In Jiu-Jitsu, you cannot break the balance of a subject, of a person, whose balance you don't first understand.
Wow.
If I want to trip you, I need to understand why you're structurally sound where you stand or where you sit or where you kneel. Once I understand the essence of your base, or your pyramid is another principle, the pyramid principle. Once I understand the structure of your pyramid, only then can I break the pyramid and off balance you. So if that's true in a fight, every day you practice Jiu-Jitsu, you learn that you must, when applying Kazushi Principle to life, you must seek first to understand whoever it is, their way of thinking, their motives, their concerns, before you aim to change their way of thinking to be more in alignment with your own. Whether you're selling something, whether you're selling an idea, whether you're trying to recruit someone for an initiative at work, whether you're trying to convince your kids that we should go this way instead of that way on a particular thing in their youth, whatever it is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. We had a student who came in. A mom brought her daughter in for a class. The daughter was 5 years old for our Little Champs class in Gracie Bully Proof, our kids program.
Wow.
The mom brings her in. Terrible first experience. I wasn't the one teaching the class, and I can say that now enthusiastically because we've changed everything to make sure this never happens again, and it's explained thoroughly in the book. Terrible first experience. She basically went on Yelp and she wrote this review that was the most scathing one-star Yelp review I've ever gotten. Oh my gosh, I went in there, nobody noticed us, no one talked to us on our first day, my daughter got paired up with another girl, it was a terrible experience, this, that, and the other. It's all about why nobody noticed her when she was struggling with the technique, no one helped her, just scathing. And I read this after the fact. You get the little ping, Yelp, 1 star, holy cow, what is this? I read it right away. I went, hold on. My impulse was, how dare her disgrace us with a review like this? My impulse. That's the resistance that we naturally, we all, that's all it's the fight back instead of, no, hold on, Kazushi, Jiu-Jitsu, yield, understand, acceptance principle. So in this case, I said, hold on, she's not wrong. She deserves better than what she got. I called all my managers to the office and I said, guys, listen to this. And I put her on speaker and I called the mom. Her name was Myra. Her daughter's name was Miranda. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm going in.
You called her randomly.
Going in, coach.
Wow.
And I get on this call with her and I say, Myra, I see that you had a really unpleasant first experience with your daughter here. Can you tell me more about it? Oh, well, Henry, this is the owner? Yeah, this is the owner of the school. Oh, wow, thank you for calling. I'm happy to. I want to know everything.
Wow.
Bro, she just let it go. Long talk, every detail. And I'm validating and I'm listening and I'm understanding and I'm putting myself in her shoes. I have kids as well now, so this is meaningful to me. So I'm going in with her all the way. At the very end, I say, Myra, I'm so sorry that this happened to your daughter. You trusted us with her first class and we did not deserve that trust. We did not uphold and we did not deliver the introduction to Jiu-Jitsu that she deserved from us. I said, let me say this. First of all, based on what you wrote and what we now understand, changes are already being implemented so that no student, boy or girl, ever experiences this once in the future in our Gracie Bully Proof program. This will never happen again. That was the first and the last. I said, number 2, that's for everyone else. For you, we need your daughter to get the introduction that she deserves. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you a private session with myself.
That's cool.
And I want you, mom, to be there with your daughter. And I want to introduce you guys to Jiu-Jitsu the way it should be done. We did it. I brought one of our female instructors, Bobby, with me to assist. And we had the best class ever, laughing, playing games, Jiu-Jitsu. The mom was elated because she said, Rener, I always wanted to do Jiu-Jitsu. I couldn't afford it as a kid. And now I can for my daughter. So the fact that you brought me in to try this is amazing. Not only did the daughter continue after this, both of them continued learning Jiu-Jitsu. Cool. And I said, guys, one class, I'm glad you loved it, but I also want to sponsor a month of free private classes so that you guys can really get into the swing of things. And then after that, you can continue however you want. If we deserve you, everything changed because I sought first to understand, then to be understood. Kazushi Principle applied to business in this case and relationships.
Wow, it's beautiful, man. It's a great principle. and hard to do when you feel like you're on the defense or someone's attacking you or someone's judging you or someone doesn't, I understand you and they're just talking about whatever they want to say from their perspective. It's hard to
It's so hard.
listen, drop your guard, connect. And you could have still made all those offers on that call and they could have said, screw you, I don't want to do anything.
But the moment I opened the call, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
It was so Jiu-Jitsu, Lewis, when I first spoke to her. It was so yield. It was so...
Right.
It was non-combative. It was so de-escalatory and so truly seeking to understand her that she felt that from the first word that came out of my mouth. So
That's great. And it's, going to the third principle that I wanted to talk about, which is the acceptance principle, recognizing when it's better to yield than to resist.
similar. There's parallels. And this is what you'll notice in jiu-jitsu, in a fight and in life. They're constantly interweaving of these principles. One particular threat scenario might require the deployment of 4 or 5 principles to create a technique for that particular situation.
To work, yeah.
Yes, so just so you know, they're always intertwining, but there are subtle differences, and they're very clearly outlined in the book. But the acceptance principle, right? There's so many times in a fight where you have to yield. And the way I think about it is this. Let's say we're physically engaged in a very intense grapple or intense situation, and you accomplish something against me or prevent something of my effectiveness against me. You're doing something where it's clear to me that what I intended to do was not reliable in that moment and that you are getting the better of me, or I'm going to fall off. Let's just say I'm on the top and I'm going to fall off of you. There comes a moment where I realize that the outcome is inevitable. It's going to happen. Whoever's first to accept the inevitability of that outcome is the first to prepare for the result of that outcome. You feel me? So if at the 50% point of the move, I recognize that it's a lost cause, then I can either hold on for dear life and fight till 100, or I can use the remaining 50% of that window to begin preparing my counterattack. And then you might get on top of me, but I catch you in a guillotine choke on your way up because I accepted the inevitability of that outcome.
Wow.
This is as true in life and business as it is in a fight. You have to recognize where things are headed and then say, okay, this is it. Let's roll with this.
That's beautiful.
So for one situation here was my wife and I had a very intense discussion one night before we were married about parenting and about work in the household. Very interesting. A discussion everyone should have if they're thinking about getting married, which my philosophy was the one that I was kind of hammered with my whole life, which is women are cook, clean, don't ask questions, do everything else I don't feel like doing, and that is your existence, right? This is a Brazilian cultural indoctrination and like
machismo type
of very Brazil. So I grew up, that's in my DNA, to be clear, like inescapable.
That's what you witnessed with
That's
your
what I witnessed my whole life
parents,
growing up. That's
grandparents,
all I knew. That's the only model I knew was what my mom is there just hustling and bustling and doing miracles behind the scenes, but that's it, right? So anyway, so now I'm about to think about getting married with someone who I'm dating seriously for many years, and I say, babe, just so we're on the same page, like, you kids, I'm work, like, this is what it is.
What you say?
So hold on. We can't celebrate too much because listen. So it was really crazy because in my mind there was no other option. No, she sat down, bro. We sat down at 11:30 at 4:30 a.m. At 4:30 a.m. we reached the conclusion of this. Her point was, Henry, I understand that you're there. I grew up in a family. My mom is like in Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, U.S. ICE. She's a national, like a federal law enforcement attorney for the government. Her dad's a psychologist. Her brother's a scientist. Her sister's a psychologist. And she's a USC engineering grad on a full academic scholarship. All geniuses, this family. And she said, Henry, all I ever saw was my mom working 40, 50, 60 hours a week as a young woman growing up.
Yeah.
And I am who I am today because of that influence. And we're all healthy and we're all doing great. And then I internally at the moment, I'm thinking to myself, hold on. That's a good point. Her parents are still married.
Together, they're healthy, happy.
Which is the most remarkable part. Here I am. My parents are long divorced when I was 12 years old, right? I got a bunch of siblings. They're not doctors and psychologists and scientists. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love my sisters and brothers, but you know, there's just, her record is impeccable. Mm-hmm. Working parents, both.
Happy.
Married, happy, love and respect for each other and for the kids for each other. And we're in a house, everyone's trying to choke each other every day. So I'm like, after 4.5 hours of her trying to convince me that there is an alternate way, I kind of saw where this was headed. I'm like, holy cow.
How old were you then?
We're early dating, so give it 10, 12 years ago. So I'm, mid-20s probably, 25, 27, when this discussion is happening. And I'm telling you, I went in ready for war because there was no way we're going to end. So we're having this discussion, and the conclusion becomes clear that at the end, she was so clear that, Rener, like, I don't want to offend your history, but the fact is there are other ways of raising a family, and my family's model is great, and I love my family. We all love each other, and we're all successful, and it worked. Yeah, I wish my mom was home some more, yes, but guess what? The influence of her not being home and killing it was good for the family. It was good for leadership and set a great example for me. I went, wow, I can't argue with that. So here was my final statement to her. I accepted. The acceptance principle kicked into gear. And I said this. I said, Eve, I can't argue with what you're saying. I said, here's all I have to trust in, is that if you're as committed to being a mom in whatever form that looks like for you, as you have been to every other endeavor of your life, of which there have been many major accolades and accomplishments, then we're going to be just fine.
Right.
I have to trust.
Right.
And I did. And I was right. And today she runs Gracie University. She's the head instructor for Women Empowered. She's amazing on every front. We have a great marriage. We have great kids. They're inspired by us both. And I couldn't be happier that I escaped the cage that I was in. This belief that this cultural, indoctrination, this cultural hierarchy of man, woman, it's gone. And I'm like, holy cow, to think that I was trying to force something that not only would have affected our family negatively, it would have certainly thrashed our marriage potential, because I saw what that did to a marriage. And I actually want to be married to her. Like, I don't want a wife. I want to be married to Eve. Wow. You feel me? It's a big difference. I don't just want to be married to have kids. I want to be in the relationship. So the question is, if that format for her is what's necessary for her to feel that she's exercising the muscles and really doing the work and contributing to society is what fuels her soul, such that when she comes home, she's also fired up about the contribution she's having to society and people around the world, like I do. Like, that's where I get my fuel. If that's what she needs too, then guess what? We both get it. And then when we're at home, we both have it to give to each other.
So it sounds like you used the previous principle, which is to seek to understand. Maybe you resisted first.
I didn't want to understand that. I came in like, let's go. But then, black belt, let's fight. I'm telling you.
But then eventually you understood.
Yes.
You accepted, which is this principle. And then you used the river principle, which is to overcome obstacles by flowing around them.
Yes.
So you weren't resistant. You were, and that was causing a friction. But
acceptance and river. Acceptance and river are very closely correlated, because as the water flows down the river and the rock presents itself, the water does not bother with the rock. The water flows where the rock is not. This is the river principle. In a fight, I can't tell you, in a 5-minute sparring session with another black belt or brown belt at high level, I can't tell you how many roadblocks I hit, how many rocks appear. But guess what? I don't have time to focus on the arm bar that is no longer available. I've got to catch the triangle choke that is now present. Because the arm bar was prevented, the triangle is available. But you never see the triangle if you're fixated in mourning the loss of the arm bar. And this is why some organizations, some people thrive in adversity, and other organizations and other people, individuals, they kind of flutter and drown in adversity, right? If you think about it, whether it's a personal setback, a organizational setback, a national setback, a global setback, a health pandemic, why is it that some prevail and some drown? It's because in adversity, some dwell on what's not possible, while others, they flourish in what new opportunities are available. It's literally the river principle applied on any scale you want. So this happened to me December 27th, 2016. I'm at the park with my son. We're running around, and I'm chasing him. He's chasing squirrels. I'm chasing him, and I have a hoodie on. It's like 10 a.m. The families are all there. It's 2 days after Christmas, so all the in-laws are at the park with us. And it's a cloudy morning, but the sun starts peeking through the cloud. I'm wearing my hoodie, and I'm like, man, I take off my hoodie. I don't need it anymore. Like, it's California, always on, off, right? Is it a hoodie day or is it a t-shirt day? And same day, you might change 15 times throughout the day. So I take off my hoodie, and I consider tying it around my waist, right? I'm taking the two hands, and I'm going for the tie. And in that moment, as the hands were going to go tie around the waist, they would not connect. All I could say was, I'm a cool dad. I swear. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the fanny pack. I couldn't tie it around. I didn't want to do it. Hey, I didn't want to do it. So I took it and I draped it over one shoulder, and then I bent over to pick up my son, like, loosely over one shoulder.
Yeah,
it fell off the shoulder, and it fell on the wet grass. It was so frustrating, bro. In that moment, I'm like, are you kidding me? Here I am trying to not be fashion faux pas, and I pay the price with the hoodie getting a little muddy on the wet grass in the morning. This is so ridiculous. So there was that moment of frustration. There was the rock. I picked up the hoodie. I picked up the kid, called the in-laws. We left. I got home. I took the hoodie that I was wearing. I took a pair of scissors, shoestrings, paper clips, and duct tape, and I disappeared. All the in-laws are there. Everyone's having a good time. Brunch. We're all there. I'm gone. 30 minutes. I'm gone. No one even knows where I'm at. They don't even notice I'm gone. I come out of the office 30 minutes later with a functioning prototype of a hoodie that turns into a fully functional backpack.
That's cool.
And the only thing cooler than the hoodie that turns into a backpack is the fact that today we have the first ever School of Greatness.
Oh, you got one. That's cool.
School of Greatness.
Nice.
Custom quick flips.
I like it.
So the listeners will have to watch the YouTube video, but for those who are on YouTube or the channel checking it out, inside goes your hoodie, one tuck, one turn, and out comes your fully functional backpack.
That's epic. It's both sides. You got the logo.
Yep, this goes on,
epic.
and it's a functional. You put things inside of it as a backpack. There's a pocket for your wallet, keys, and cell phone additionally. This goes on, and you know how these backpacks, sometimes they're too loose? So I created the world's flattest cord lock. Look, so it tightens up. So now you can wear this anywhere, run, bike, hike, parkour, jiu-jitsu. It's not going to fall off your back. When you're done, you just pop these locks. This comes off. You open this up. Look. You one here. I reach in, count to 3, Lewis. Too slow. We're already back to the hoodie. First ever School of Greatness. That's XL. That's your size right there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
And I did one extra one.
That's cool.
Which is a large. And this is a little sticker that says stop. This is also a backpack.
That's amazing.
So you scan that. But anyways, so I did another one, Lewis. This one is to give away to the most loyal School of Greatness podcast listener in the world.
I love it,
You get to choose who this one goes to.
I love it.
Okay?
I'm excited.
These all turn into backpacks.
If you guys want this, leave a comment on
share
YouTube
this,
right
leave
now.
a comment, you guys. Comment that you want the quick flip.
I love it, man.
School of Greatness collaboration. So what's crazy is initially it launched, we went to Shark Tank.
So
after I did the video, Shark Tank, it was amazing showing. They loved it. And we went after Shark Tank, it really blew us up. And then we started getting calls. Intel, Google, Warner Brothers ordered 3,000 hoodies for all their producers with the Warner Brothers logo on it. You know, all these different organizations are wanting custom wholesale, like branded quick flips. And then we got the call, Universal Studios for the parks, Disneyland, Avengers hoodie turns into an Avengers quick flip. Makes perfect sense on and off throughout the entire day. So quick flip was born. I invented this on that fateful Tuesday morning, and now it's a global organization that I have a partner who runs the whole thing and does an amazing job. His name is Jordan. Again, I'm not an apparel guy. I tripped and invented a hoodie. You feel what I'm saying? And I solved a problem that we've always all had, not because I went to school or fashion design or because I have a business degree. I have none of that. I only have Jiu-Jitsu. And with the river principle in my back pocket, when I was frustrated by the moment of, I don't want to tie this around my waist. This is so stupid that this is all we have to carry a hoodie. America can do better. That's what I felt in my moment. We can do better.
Yeah.
So when I go home and invent the solution to this, now a company is born. And now besides Jiu-Jitsu, I'm doing this. And the world is better because they have hoodies that turn into backpacks and they don't have to equal that frustration. When I leave the house in the morning and I'm going to the park with my son, let's say it's a sunny morning, I put his hoodie inside the backpack. Right? And I put it on my back. So now I have my hoodie, my backpack, and his hoodie inside. It gets cold later. I pull out his hoodie, give it to him, pull out my hoodie, put it on, and I'm not lugging around an empty backpack.
That's amazing. I love it, man. I love it, man. The creativity. It's amazing. In your book, you got 32 principles. We just talked about 4 of them. I'm going to cover one more because I want everyone else to get the book. Again, the 32 principles. This is about harnessing the power of jiu-jitsu to succeed in business, relationships, and life. Make sure you guys get this by Rener Gracie. It's an awesome book and an awesome introduction to just more philosophies about jiu-jitsu and how you can apply them to your life. The last one I want to talk about, again, there's 32 of them. We're only going to talk about a few today, but the last one is really the grandmaster principle. Now, what is the grandmaster principle and what does it take for anyone to be a grandmaster of their own life?
So let me say this. As I was developing the curriculum of the 32 principles with my brother, we got to the point where we had identify, because we did not invent principles, right? Principles, gravity always existed.
You revealed them.
We revealed them and we classified them and we named them and then we put them into a curriculum. So as we're going through this rigorous process of identifying these principles over an extended period of time and trying to create a cohesive curriculum surrounding them, we got to 31. And then I ran out. And I'm thinking to myself, we can't end with 31. It's not an even number. 8 times 4 is 32. I want this to be a little more, right?
Yes.
Encapsulated. I want to be more buttoned up with this. There needs to be one more. And I'm thinking, and literally I'm running dry. I'm telling you, this is like lots of time spent identifying these 31, you can imagine, and just really identifying them and defining them. And then I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do for 32. And I'm in the shower, literally, boom, doing my thing. And then it freaking hit me. The final principle must be the principle of applying all the principles and constantly evolving their application in your own life. This reprogramming happens as a function of learning techniques. For example, today, I put you down, I got on top of you, what would you do? You struggled. I can't, Henry, I don't know. Switch roles. And then I showed you a move and you're like, whoa, 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 that was awesome. And you did it and you're like, all right, I believe that what I thought wasn't possible is possible. And then I did it a second time and a third and a fourth and a fifth.